I discovered that Eric had made his residence deep beneath the theatre. It seemed that he had been one of the chief contractors under Charles Garnier, the opera's main architect. When the works had been suspended during the siege of the Prussian army and the following Commune, Eric had continued working in secret and installed the network of secret passages and tunnels that he now used to get about the theatre in his ghostly fashion. I made my way deep into the cellars, taking the greatest of care, for I know how fond he is of his pitfalls and traps. In fact, we used to call him the trapdoor lover in my country. I came to the edge of the underground lake, where I had learned that Eric had taken up his abode beyond. As I looked out across the water, all was in silence. A shaft of blue light came down to the air hole in the roof screed, lighting up the waters. There was not a ripple to be seen. I climbed into the boat and began to row across the dark waters. I was maybe a few meters from the shore when suddenly a voice came to my ears. A voice so sweet that I just had to hear more. I was compelled to hear more. I leant out over the side of the boat, straining to hear the beautiful sounds. I leaned further and still further. All I cared about was understanding the nature of this most beautiful voice, for it was now unmistakably a voice singing to me. I leant further and further over the dark waters, and suddenly two monstrous arms reached up and grabbed me and pulled me into the water. Had I not had the chance to shout out at the last minute, I am sure that Eric would have done for me, which is what he intended to do. He obviously recognized my voice and dragged me to the shore. He cast me down onto the rocks and berated me for disturbing his peace. I had saved his life once, at the expense of my own. And because of that, he is bound to me. Despite what he might think, he does have a conscience. He wanted to know why I was there. What was I doing snooping around in the cellars of the opera? I told him that I was aware of his activities as the opera ghost, and that I was incredibly ashamed that I had saved his life simply for him to become a ghost when he was capable of so much more. He is a genius, an architect, a musician, a builder, an inventor. All these things he could have been, and yet he chose to live in a cellar. He told me that I was never to come back, that if I ever returned to the cellars, he would do for me as he should have done this time. He dragged me up the tunnel to the end, as it opened out onto the roof screed, and cast me out into the night. I am now more determined than ever to discover what exactly is going on. But I am now certain of his dreary love affair with Christine Daae. He told me that he is now the most virtuous of men because he is loved for himself. I find that very hard to believe, that any woman could see beyond that monstrous face. Miss Daae is the key to the mystery, and I will uncover the mystery.